Hello everybody, back here again for our vlog a day. Today is Wednesday the 12th, and today was a lovely, beautiful day to be alive. Got up this morning, fairly decent time frame. Wife had basically set her alarm and didn't request that I kick her out of bed, so wasn't as stressed out waking up an hour before I needed to kick her out of bed kind of thing. So that made it nice. But got up, got the dogs out, chill out them for a little bit. Wife headed off to work, and my mother had an appointment at 8:40 to get her eyes checked, and it's, I don't know, 15 minutes away or so if there's no traffic. So I always leave at least a 15-minute traffic window, so I won't leave here, a little bit after 8, 8:10, that kind of thing. It gives half an hour to get there. So as I was going to take off, left the one dog there, and basically is there no big deal. I thought I'll take him with me and all that good fun stuff. So we head over to the yard, and as I was getting things around, it was a little bit before 8. Mom's like standing by the window staring out, like ready to go. So I'm like, ask the girls, go drop her off early, and then get her in early and get back, no problem. So we head out, got the dog all hooked up, get him in the truck, reach over and lock the door for her, because the lock on that truck, it's a weird, it auto unlocks every time you put it in park, and then auto locks when you put it in drive, which is great, but the motor to put it in lock doesn't work. The motor to unlock it works. So every time I would drive it, I'd have to like lean over and relock the damn thing. So I went and unhooked it. So now it's just full manual. So the few times I had people with me, I got to reach over and unlock it. But reach over and unlocked it. She got in and hit the key, and the truck didn't start. And I was like, oh, you dirty son of a bitch. So I tried again, nothing. I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. Because that truck has some issues weirdly throughout the years where it'll start and die and start and die and start and die. And I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. So it didn't start, so I went in there. Dog's tethered up in the back seat, so he can't get out. So I don't have to really worry about it. But I got the door shut. Told Mom, I said, don't open the door, because I don't want the dog jumping out in case the leash would break or chew through it or whatever. And I have a spare battery that I keep in the garage that is used for trolling motors and running my winch and all kinds of stuff I use it for. So grabbed it real quick, grabbed my jumper cables, and hooked it up, and it still don't start. And I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. So Mom asked if I wanted me to holler at the neighbor because she was leaving, see if she could jump me. I'm like, well, if this battery doesn't work, I don't know why hers would either. But I was like, no, don't bother. So how are you guys doing today? So I went ahead and I told her not to bother. And then as the neighbor's leaving, she stopped and asked if I needed to jump. And at that point, she's already here. And I'm like, yeah, why not? So went ahead, said to hell with it. Dumbass kids. They're barking at those ducks like a dog. But went ahead, hooked it up, and got a good spark on the jumper cables, but nothing. Didn't start. So it kind of gave a dead battery feel, but not really. I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. Yesterday it had started slowly, a little brum, brum, and then didn't do nothing. So, but it fired right up. It had a little slow turnover before it fired off. I'm like, okay, no problem. So it's the hell of it. And started trying to run the math in my head. Do I have time to jump on the motorcycle, race to Karen's work, grab her car, race back and get Mom to the appointment in time? And I'm like, nope, I don't. And then I thought, well, I'll have the neighbor see if she's free for like, 15 minutes or so. She could run Mom to the eye doctor and get her exam, but then I have no way of getting her home, which in theory I could have called my wife. She could have left work. That's a big pain in the ass too. So I told Mom, I'm like, hey, I think you're out. Like, call and cancel your appointment. So she called and canceled the appointment. I put the dog back in the house and I started working on it. I thought, well, I'm going to go ahead. Side post batteries sometimes are hard to get jumper cables on them. They're not the best, yada, yada. So I thought, well, I'll go ahead and just pull the battery out, run it up to the auto parts store, get it tested, and see if that's the case. So yanked it out of there. There's brackets and hold downs and kinds of weird crap. So I get it out of the truck, throw it in the back of the motorcycle, head over to the auto parts store, test out, 86% good life left, and it's got a full charge. So shit. So I took it home, stuck on my shittiest battery charger I could find, because I couldn't find my good battery charger. I have a really like high-end battery charger I bought for $5 at the yard sale. I don't think they knew what they had, and I didn't think it worked at $5. But I was willing to take a chance, but I've lost the thing. And I think when I was remodeling the other house across the street, there was a couple times the doors were open and stuff. There's a couple things that are gone that I think might have walked off out of my garage, but I don't have proof of it. So who knows? But I think that's one of the things that got walked off. So Kind of sucks, but it is what it is. So gave up on it. I had this crappy little Black & Decker 6-volt 12-volt battery charger that I'll use like for trolling motors and stuff. So I chucked it on my battery, just let it run. It flashes green saying it's charging. That's all it does. There's no readouts, no testings, no nothing. So went ahead and left on there, and since the battery tested good, I'm like, well, it almost has to be the starter. That's my next thing to go at. So crawl underneath there. The truck's in the dirt next to the driveway, because I leave the driveway open for my father-in-law to get in and out, and the nurses to get there and stuff. So I'm a gentleman. I don't park in my own driveway. And now I'm working in the dirt though. I'm trying to decide, do I try and roll it down to the driveway a little ways? And if I don't get it turned enough, and then I can't get it, the brakes don't work, and now I'm kind of blocking half the driveway and making it worse. And yeah, so I'm like, screw it. And at all this time thinking, man, I made my mom miss her eye doctor appointment. I feel bad about it, but she doesn't have a car, so it's all on me all these years. But it is what it is. I still feel bad about it. So I'm kind of trying to hurry through here, get the thing jacked up, and I'm sitting on dirt, and I put a piece of pine wood underneath it, cut off from the sawmill. I went ahead and put on there to basically keep the jack from sinking in the mud too much. Did throw a couple jack stems underneath it just in case the jack was to fail. Less likely to die, but still not going to be a good day if that happens. So caught underneath there, got the battery out of it. Went fairly easily getting out. Wasn't real hard. It was kind of a pain in the butt, but got it out of there. Got it down. I was gonna try jump in it. She can jump start, see if it works. I'm like, I don't care. I'm just gonna buy a new starter, because this thing's original. It's a GM starter from 2002. So this thing's 22 years old, whatever. So needs to replace either way. So chuck it to the back of the motorcycle, head over to the auto parts store, and basically buy a new one. I was going to turn it in for core. I realized, no, wait, I don't want to turn it in for core yet, because one, they might not give me the right one. I can't compare it. And two, if I put the new one in, it still won't do it, then the starter's still good. So why would I give them the core back till I know that's what the problem was? So I'm going to head through the new one in the back of the bike, $212 later, whatever it is, with core charge. So I head back, and I talked to the other parts store I had the battery tested, and the guy I talked to there, great guy, seems to know mechanical, seems to know parts and stuff, great guy. Scott, I believe is his name. He's like, somebody grabbed me a starter next, and he basically told me, do not buy a starter from us. He goes, they're getting returned on a regular basis. He goes, I'll never buy a starter from us ever again. He goes, I get all my starters from O'Reilly's. So I'm like, okay. So I went to O'Reilly's, bought the starter, like $50 more than the place that he told me not to buy it at. But if it lasts, it's worth $50. I don't care. I would pay $500 not to be up underneath here. And I actually had looked into that, get like a mobile mechanic to come out to swap the starter out, because it's kind of a pain in the ass. I couldn't find anybody that was available like within a week, and I got my truck set around for a week with nothing. So went ahead, got back to the new starter, and then played pure hell getting in there. A lot of people say to really like take the exhaust off to make it easier and blah blah. I'm not doing that shit. Truck's too old for that. Good chance I'm gonna break all the bolts. Now I'm in a worse of a predicament. So fought underneath there, laying on my back in the dirt, trying to lift above, and my shoulder injuries from motocross wrecks really don't do me well in that position. So I was getting my butt kicked. Finally got it in. It's just, man, it took forever. And I would just about think I have it, and my arms would cramp up, and I couldn't hold it. Just a pain in the butt. I'm like, man, if I had a lift right now, a shot with an actual lift, or even could get it up, another 10 inches higher, would have been so much easier. I could have put it up on all 4 jack stands or whatever. But yeah, so I finally got to where I beat it up in there, got in there stuff, got it installed, back out through the battery unit, fired up. It's like a dream. So that went by a good chunk of the day. So I text mom. I'm like, hey, truck started. If you can get in for the eye appointment, let me know. And she goes, nope, that was only one. They said they had it for like 2 months. And I'm like, you made the appointment yesterday afternoon for 8:40 in the morning. I doubt that's the only appointment they have for 2 months. But hey, whatever makes you happy. So I'll just do it. I'll back to Iowa. I'm like, okay. So she seemed kind of pissy about it. Like, well, buy your own card then. Like, what the hell? So went ahead, continued a couple of things, took a little bit of a break, just kind of relaxed with the dog, played with them for a little bit, and everything was good there. When I was out looking for parts, I rode the motorcycle down by the mechanic shop that's working on my Suburban, and talked to that guy, and he was close but no cigar. He said he had the brakes done, but they weren't good yet. He wanted to work on it, blah blah. And they called and said that brake lines are done, but they don't feel like they have a good pedal, and they needed a few more hours to get it working right. I said, well, yeah, why would I want a thing back with shitty brakes? Like, whatever it takes, make the brakes good, So I went ahead and said to hell with that, and pretty much from there, talked to him for a little bit. Seems like a nice old guy, works on old shit, but not fast by any means. So I guarantee it's one of those things where he spends more time vaping and smoking than he does working on stuff, but I don't care. As long as it gets fixed, it's fixed correctly, I'll pay whatever the fee is. I don't give a damn at this point. I don't have my own shop. I have no other options. So yeah, got back to the house. Now I got to run and drive in truck. Told my wife today, tomorrow I got to take your dad to the doctor. So remind me before you go to work, either go across the street yourself, start it, make sure it starts again, that's correct, or wake me up, let me go do it. Or not really wake me up, I'll be able to wait, but before you leave, because now I'm going to follow you. I'm going to ride to work with you, bring the car home, and then I'll have the car take your dad to the doctor. And she's, yep, not a problem. So hung out there, got my run in, got myself a shower, went ahead and got a couple of other things done, chilled a little bit, and then texted my wife in the evening and said, hey, if you don't need me to go anywhere or do anything, I'm going to have a few drinks because my body is kicking my ass and I want to put booze in it as a pain reliever. So she said, go for it. Signed up, knocking out about 6 shots, mixed into a couple of mixed drinks. I do 3 at a time in the mixed drinks. So I ended up having about 6 shots of whiskey and felt less pain, but my neck and stuff and that's really, really sore. So she got home. We had a wonderful dinner, leftovers, chicken noodle, no big deal. Watched another episode of Godless and chilled out there with the puppy that kept trying to beg food from her. It was kind of funny. So, but yeah, we had a good one with it. And then from there, went back outside, enjoyed the beautiful evening, and got myself a cigar, head back in, watched a little bit of TV, and wrapped it up for the night, and called it a day. That's all I got for now. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Have yourself a safe, wonderful day. Thanks for watching.